Good afternoon and welcome to Laurel Park. Thank you for joining us here on Today at the Races. We are a little bit late on the morning show, but we had some technical difficulties, but we're here, right?
Yeah, we battled through it, which is good.
It's going to be a Cliff Notes
You
version
got
of
it.
the card today, Keith. Well, we do have 9 races on tap, some excellent carryovers as well. We have carryovers in all 3 of our featured wagers in the late pick 5, that Super High 5, and the Rainbow 6. We're going to get right to the action here today, starting it off on the Exceller Turf course. And Keith, we'll show my early pick 5 ticket because I'm interested to see your take on this race as well. I thought Billy the Bull was the one to beat in this particular event. I do think he's going to be the lone speed, so if we could show that ticket, I'm keen off of him in the first race. Billy the Bull is my single as we progress using the 2-7 in race 2, spreading in race 3 with 5 different horses, in race 4 using the 5-6-9 and capping it off with 4 horses in the final leg of the sequence. $60, and quite frankly, I kind of dwindled my later tickets down, but you have to approach the card with some serious tickets, some serious money today.
Serious money. I was just talking to Sam Salter before the show. Just, there's a couple instances I'd love to hit the all button if I could. I just can't afford it unless I hit something early, which would carry me late. But yeah, looking at your early pick 5 ticket, it's good, it's economical, it's got plenty of value in it. You just got to get through that first leg. Billy the Bull, last time he ran a Laurel, he was ease. Let's hope he doesn't, duplicate that. But he's been red hot since. He gets to the lead. And this turf course on Sunday was like a highway. You got on it, you got to the front, and you just absolutely rolled. I think it's a good setup here for Billy the Bull.
And so you're sticking with him in the first race,
I
but
am.
if you were trying to maybe go with one other horse, who would you opt for?
Well, I'm looking at the 4, Put Your Seatbelt On. He's one of my favorites as a price horse. He got in a little traffic down on the inside last time out. But also the 5, Alfredo Romano, who ran against Billy the Bull up at Parks last time. He kind of rated off of him, made a move. He just couldn't quite sustain. Today you might see a little bit more aggressive approach. And the way this turf course has been going, he might be able to kind of move right into the pace a little sooner, and it may carry him.
And the biggest question is if Billy the Bull gets pressured on the front end, if at the distance, sometimes distance is a great equalizer, maybe Alfredo Romana will will have enough speed to maybe kick Billy the Bull on a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it's going to be a formful first race as we get to race 2, a maiden $40,000 event for these 2-year-olds, 5 furlongs onto the main track as well. And the 7 Cool Arrow is the horse to beat fair and square. He's shipping in for trainer Joe Sharp. But even looking at his last race, Keith, he did seem to kind of be going in the wrong direction.
He did. This looks like a kind of a desperation move, and a little bit of a quick give up. We see this with a Cal Lynch horse in that Philly race, the Philly version of this. I'm not sure. This Cool Arrow, though, he's facing some good company down there. He gets a reprieve. He's got outside speed, and the blinkers go on. He's going to be all systems go from the outside. But for some price horses, let's take a look at the 5, Cracking Glacken for Mike Trombetta. This horse took a lot of play in debut, had an interesting trip, showed a little speed, but then dropped back under some urging, showed new life once he got to the outside. A better post position today is going to enhance his chances at a price.
And we have the great Ronaldo here, who is another horse that has some experience, at least 2 starts versus a lot of the first-time starters. And maybe that's going to give him the advantage, but he does have a very quirky running style. He almost switches over to the left lead or stays on the left lead, and visually you wonder, is this just kind of a trait that this horse has, or and if he overcomes that, will it be a different circumstance?
Maybe the gelding, the recently gelded animal, it may help him. Maybe there was just something there that was bothering, hindering from really kind of running comfortably, and maybe this will get him over the hump today.
Okay, that is race 2 as we move along to race 3 on the Exceller. 5.5 furlongs on the turf, and I'm going with a new shooter, and that is the 10, the Pulse. He's never tried the turf before, but he actually does have the pedigree that would suggest he'll like it today. He's by Pulpit out of an Unbridled Song mare who she was 0 for 6 on the turf, but that was against Maiden Special Weight Company. Her best was an 85 by her speed figure, and anything
No doubt.
close to that number would make him competitive.
Agreed. Certainly bred top to bottom. I'm surprised it took this long to get this horse on the grass course. A good opportunity, not a real tough 75, open 75 claimer. I'm going to go with Nito. Recent claim for Kieran McGee, has a lot of early speed. I don't like the one thing that scares me a little bit. They held this horse right back at the level. I know this is what he does a lot, but it's still a little interesting. This horse has a good turn of foot, though. Internal fractions last time out, May 26th at Pimlico, a little bit better than Billy the Bull, even that first quarter of a mile. Now, granted, He had a 40-foot run up. Billy the Bull had a 20-foot run up. But still really good internals. Got caught in a duel. I think he shakes clear in this field. He might take him a long, long way. But the Pulse certainly scares me. I think IE Flash will get a great trip again. He drafted down to the inside before angling out last time. The distance helps his chances. I think with all the speed kind of inside, he'll be able to draft over and get a good trip from here.
I also like the 4 Thorny in here, and I've liked him for so long. I need to stick with him once again here today because he is coming out of races that, for the level, they were very strong. You look at the Open $7,500 race, 2 back, put your seatbelt on. He's obviously been facing Allowance to other than Allowance Company. Cinder Block, that horse went on to win an allowance optional claimer at Suffolk, and he had a lot of back class too. So maybe he's found the right field today. He still has to get over the hump because he's a horse that hasn't found the winner's circle in quite some time.
He's a trier. His lifetime best came over this turf course, but he always tries.
We get to race 4 on the card. This does kick off the 20-cent Rainbow Six, and we have a carryover, 12.28 in that carryover. A maiden $40,000 event will show my Rainbow Six ticket here, and once again, finding it very difficult to find a single today. So dwindling the ticket down to just 2 horses in the first and the last leg of the sequence. We're going to have to kind of limp through this first leg with just the 5 and the 9, spreading in race 5 with the 1, 8, 11, 12, 3 horses. I could have used many more in race 6, race 7, 3 deep, and also race 8, 3 deep for an $86.40 ticket, but you could easily spend hundreds of dollars on this ticket.
I cheated and glanced at some of your picks, and we're kind of all over the map. We're not really agreeing a lot today. That's the kind of card we've got, and it's going to continue. It's going to be the theme all weekend at Laurel, but that's why the value is here. I was talking to a friend of mine out in California. He's a regular at Santa Anita, plays up in the high rollers room, and one thing he's gathering from guys there, more attention is being spent to this track right here, and the money is pumping in, and we're seeing it through the handle. They've told him value, value, value galore at Laurel Park.
As it should. We get to race 4 though quickly here. Excuse me, Keith.
That's all right. I've been called worse.
I don't know about that. We get to race 4, Clairvoyant Lady for trainer Cal Lynch, and she's one that I respect. I'm not picking her on top, but I wanted to kind of start out with this 2-year-old filly because she was heavily bet in debut at Parks. Now, unfortunately, she drew the rail post or down on the inside. Trevor McCarthy was really getting after her to try to be the speed, but there were just simply faster fillies in there, and she got caught in a tricky position down on the inside. Now, a completely different situation with the outside post.
A lot more relaxed trip it's going to get from her. She kind of came away. She came away okay, but really didn't find her stride till about the 3/8 pole. But then she had to be used hard inside. But the winner was really, really confidently handled. A tough trip down inside. And looking at a lot of the winners that day at Parks, they were in that 3 and 4 pass. She might not have been in the best spot to be at Parks that day. I'm going to take a shot with the. And here we're in race. What race are we on now, Gabby?
We are in the fourth.
I'm going to take a shot at a price. I meant to hit the 5. I like the 4. Skip Along. It's going to be a first-time starter here. By Include for trainer Mike Trumbetta from Morgan's Ford Farm. Include hits at a pretty good strike rate, about 24% with 2-year-old maidens. Top and bottom, this horse is a win early. Trumbetta hits at about 26% with his maiden claiming 2-year-olds over his lifetime career as a trainer. I think Skip Along's had a good work showing there. That 5/8 workout, 102 flat. That's enough. Something close to that could be good enough to get it done.
Okay, the 5 Perfect Party Girl, I'm going to give her one more shot in terms of a top selection, getting to a fast main track today, because you look at the pedigree too, by Majestic Perfection, out of a mare whose progeny was very versatile. They pretty much ran on any surface and any distance, so I think there's a little bit more from this filly. Also, she was well backed in debut. Whether that money went to the other half of the entry or her, I personally think it went to her in debut. So that is the 5 Perfect Party Girl I'll be sticking with once again today. We get
one long shot real quick in that race, the 7. Chips included. Go back, take a look at the rerun. I thought this was a really good, sneaky good shot at a price.
Okay, race 5 starts the 50-cent late pick 5. Keith has a ticket for you, which we'll show here. And we started off on the all-along turf course at a mile and a 16th. And I took a peek at your late pick 5 ticket too. It ain't easy, as
No,
they say.
it's not easy. It's a $60 ticket. Spread early, 4x5. Then we're going to take a single in Devinson, 15-1 morning line. You won't get that because of a 7-2 scratch, but I think he is lone speed, can carry this field wire to wire. Go with 2. I think keyed around the 6 or the 7. I really think the road's going to go through them in race 8. And the 9th is wide open. We'll go 6, 8, 9, 3 deep in there for a $60 ticket. we'll be adding a few more if we can catch something early.
Okay, and that is race 5 to kick off the 50-cent late pick 5. I like the 8 DK's Brigantia here because I just think she's been facing slightly tougher company, and this I think is going to be a repeating trend with the Tim Keefe barn. Last year he started off the Laurel Summer Meet in really good fashion. Pretty much everything was winning. Even DK's Brigantia at a big price. She won at 33-1 here coming out of that Pimlico race on the dirt, and I think the similar circumstance is going to happen with her on the slight drop in class. So the barn's been doing well. Keith, you land to the way outside. Chanel #1, who I was dubious of her last time out, off the layoff on the drop in class, but I think this is just where she needs to be placed to win.
And I think she's got enough speed. You've got a horse in the 7 Doug's Tour that's going to zip right to the front. I'm throwing the 7 in my pick 5. Take it, we'll use it in pick 6s and pick 3s and pick 4s. Dangerous is the lone speed, has a big turn of foot, but hasn't been lasting. This turf course may carry her a little bit more. Chanel #1, though, I think she's got enough tactical speed to go up and get first run on that horse, and I think she'll sustain a little bit better second off the layoff.
Okay, let's get to race 6 to kick off the late pick 4, I believe. And wanted to show a ticket here, Keith, and my late pick 4 ticket I thought was, you know, you have the ability to maybe spread with several different horses, and you can see using 4 horses in the first leg with the 5, 7, 9, 11. 3 by 3 by 3, $54. So a nice affordable ticket there as we kick things off. And looking at the field, I'll just start with my top selection. We'll get to yours too. The 5, Seize the Ring for trainer Graham Motion. I'm intrigued by this filly because of her breeding. She is by Tiz now. She's out of Catch the Ring, who is a multiple stakes winning mare. She won on turf, dirt, at marathon distances, and the foals have made upwards of $1.1 million. So she intrigues me a bit, and I guess as do you.
Yeah, this is the one race we kind of see eye to eye on. The Seize the Ring is a price. 12-1 morning line. I probably got her line a little bit too high. I think the play's going to come in on the 9 Girl Secret and the 7 Dixie Spirit, but Seize the Ring could be the speed of the speed in here. We've talked time and time again, just kind of working off of Sunday's card, the way this turf course was speed favoring. This horse is a half to 2 multiple route winning sibs. So I think that's enough if you're looking for some value. The 9, obviously, I think is the horse to beat. Girl Streak It coming off a little layoff, but man, 2 really good turf routes at 2. Any slight progression off of that 2-year-old form. She's there last time out, last seen October 17th at Belmont Park. Price Perfection, the winner, now a grade 3 winner. 4 other winners out of that race.
And she was 4th in the Belmont Oaks, a grade 1 Belmont Oaks recently too, Price to Perfection. And for what it's worth, Tony Dutra with these types of layoffs going long on the turf, he bats at 36% and a positive ROI of $3.06. As we move right along, as we said, Cliff Notes version.
But we got through a lot of classes with that, so some good passing grades.
We did.
Maybe we'll get through with this.
Race 7 on the card, non-winners of 2 for 5, 6 furlongs on the main track. I land on the 7, Jump in Julian, although I'm a little bit more suspect of him with the scratch of Split, who I thought would be part of the pace, and that gives the advantage to your horse in here, Devinson, who could perhaps be lone speed, the number 9 horse.
Yeah, the blinkers went back on May 19th at Pimlico. It was a speed favoring day, but this horse popped the latches, really broke sharp and controlled things the whole way and handled the distance without any issues with a Buyer 65, which kind of just towers over everybody else in here. And then trouble the next 2. You see Bump the winner to start, stumbled at Bump start. Let's get this horse out of the gate, get this horse clear. I think he can rate and take this field coast to coast.
Not for fun. First off, the claim for Hugh McMahon. With over the past 2 years with these low-level claimers sprinting on the dirt, he bats at 31%. Oddly enough, it's still not a positive ROI. We'll get to race 8, the first half of the late daily double, on the all along at a mile and a 16th. And the Tupa Chart, he's obviously a grade 2 winner. He was very precocious way back when. Now he's coming back as a 5-year-old. But I thought visually his race last time out was very strong. He stumbled out of the gate. He had to regather himself under Edgar Prado. He saved ground pretty much the entire way, but with saving ground down on the inside, he didn't have any room to run. Once he finally found a seam, he beat the horse directly to his outside. He just didn't see the horse way to the outside, closing in the middle of the track.
And you see that happen quite a bit in turf races. And you know what? Give me that trip more often than not. You're going to get through. You're going to find a seam. But unfortunately, you run into some bad luck. I want a jock that's going to be saving ground. He's going to get a good inside trip. Should be able to flow up to the speed. The 6 made in Detroit, a big effort off the layoff is the speed. We'll control it a long way in here out of a strong race in New York. Roman Approval, who finished behind him, came back to run second in a graded stakes. I'm going to take a shot with Bank Float. He's just in razor sharp form here. The 7 Bank Float for trainer Ono de Delacour gets Daniel Santana. This horse has worked out good trips the last 3. See another good trip, like a kind of similar trip Ghost Hunter got on Sunday, saving ground, steadily moving up. When this horse kicks out, he's got a good final turn of foot the last 1/8 of a mile. I think he can get up in time and wear down Made in Detroit and maybe outfinish the 2 Bishart.
All right, 9th and final race. A very good race, though. Race 8, I thought that was a very competitive race. We get to race 9 on the Exceller, 5.5 furlongs, and I go to the way outside with the 11 Thunder's Fury, who I love the fact that they cut him back in distance off of the layoff last time out. He had a break from the rail post. No easy task going 5.5 here locally. I think he draws a much better post position, and it looked like he had good late energy. He just took a while to really find his gear, kind of bottled down on the inside. Keith, you land on the 6 Tiger's Pap coming off the layoff, but this horse was precocious as a 3-year-old.
He was. If he can kind of come close to anything, his debut run back at Pimlico May of 2015, look at the company 9s. That's all you have to look at. Pool Winner, Q, Joseph. All these horses are made in special weight types, moved up, and have been competitive in allowance races. Q a good, like mid-70 number the other day over this turf course. Tiger's Box just has to come back. Somewhat similar form. I think he gets it done over a questionable field. A real contentious race, though. Boss Magician I'm going to use in the 9, as happy as Larry. Really improved when transferred to the turf course. I think the extra ground will help him. He kind of got set down 8th pole. He needs a little bit more ground. And your horse is going to be tough, too, coming from the back. Toughest thing with this turf course at 5.5, you like to see them in range by about the 3/16. If they're 4 or 5 out of it, it's hard to make up that kind of ground the last 1/8 of a mile.
Okay, well, that's a wrap for us. That's races 1 through 9. 3 carryovers today in the Super High 5, the Pick 5, and the Rainbow 6. High five to that.
Yeah.
We
a little
rolled
crushing
through
day.
it.
Go down see some old buddies of mine. Some good 90s, some good recent alternative, and
don't let a little
music.
technical difficulty
No,
stop
no,
us
no.
from
We got
getting
through
our
it.
winning tickets out there. But
Yeah.
crushing day, great racing on tap today, and definitely go check out the Grandstand Apron and check out Crushing Day and other food specials as well. Thank you for joining us on Today at the Races. Dave Rodman up next with Scratches and Changes.
enjoy. Good luck.